Well, it's the next day. This hasn't risen very much. But it tells me it still needs to rise. You know what? It's been here 10 hours. I'm not waiting for it to do anything else anymore. So it's going to come out of here and it's going to take respect of what it says. So we're going to score this one. How do we think we should score it? I always score it this way. We do it the way we always do it. Remember, we always take it right from the bottom because we want that burst. If we only take it from here, it's restricted over here. So we're going to cut it, put it in the oven, and come back in 10 minutes time. And then we are going to cut it again on that same thing because the starches have started to gelatinize, but we actually want that nice big burst if we get it on this strange experiment we're into here. On the bottom, and the knife is always at a 45-degree angle because otherwise it's going down. The ear comes in this way. Then because we can, we'll see what happens with those. Are you going to burst? I think it's very wet, but you know what? We are coming back again to do it once it comes out the oven in 10 minutes. So maybe this one is going to have to be cut all over again, but I will show you what's happening there. The oven is on and these are they're still damp to the touch, so I don't actually to spray them to put any more water in them. Now there's no water in the bottom of the oven, so we're going to wait for the oven to heat up and then we're going to put them in. Out the oven. So this has started to split. Just put it back down there. Following the line that was there. So back into the oven. I'm going to leave that in there for 60 minutes. I always bake for 110. Maybe I'm only to put it into 50 minutes because the loaf is much smaller. But technically it's the same weight, so we'll leave it in there for 60 minutes. So it would have baked for 110 by the time it comes out of there. And you see, I actually removed it from the oven. It had risen slightly, but the outside had started to set. But it just shows that you can remove it and put it back in and then give it that extra support on the ear. The ear had started to split, but and it had set on the one side. But I'd like more of a ear if I can get it, and I usually do. So that is now just going to hang around for an hour and then we will be back with it. Hello. So, I showed you how they blew up before they cooled. These have now cooled, and you can see they've shrunk quite a bit, but this one looks as if it's still quite safe and looks like we'll be able to do something in it, so here we go. How's that? No structure. Too wet, and it actually didn't have the psyllium husk in it to actually stick it together. So we did bake it with too little yeast. We did allow it to rise for 10 hours. So we really have abused this poor loaf of bread. And you can see, let's cut it this way as well. Come on, so you just park over there. You can see I had structure here. So either here, there's two possibilities. There was an air bubble. Remember I keep telling you about the air bubbles. And there was no support. And I think that was the problem here. Because it was so wet, there was actually no support for it. Now, this part, I love a chewy crust. So, we'll make this again in another video. So, I'm just teaching you an epic failure here. Doesn't help teaching you all the successes. You need to know why something went wrong and how to fix it. The easiest and quickest way to fix this is to add psyllium husk into it or to reduce the water. Because it was so wet and so sticky, I landed up with a very wet dough, which isn't usually a problem. But because there was no structure, I keep telling you, structure, it actually had nothing to hold it together. So for 2 grams of yeast, these are enormous holes in there. So maybe we'll do it again with with 2 grams of yeast, but we'll add psyllium husk into it. It's a very nice bread, it's got a lovely chewy crust. I did cook it for 60 minutes, and because it did this, it wouldn't have been able to say it if I'd actually baked it for another 10 minutes on it. Jesslyn?